I like to get festive, it makes me feel better about my life. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Paige and today I thought we'd just have a casual sit down and talk about all the books that I'm going to be tracking across the country to take with me to uni. There's quite a collection of random genres here. There's classics, there's non-fiction, there's fantasy, there's a lot. And I guess by telling you this I'm kind of giving you little tiny hints of what some upcoming videos I have planned are going to be. But I kind of just feel like sitting down and giving a list of books. So I feel like telling you about the books I'm taking to uni is a good way to do that. Now, I am only taking 10 books with me to uni. That is, to be fair, quite a lot to carry across the country. But it's not a lot. I'm obviously going to read more than 10 books in the next 3 or 4 months. But I know myself and I know I'll end up buying books, and some of the videos that I want require me to buy books. I'm going to see if I can find them in charity stores, etc. So there's just no point me taking extra. I've just brought favourites that I know I'll want to reread and books I haven't read yet and want to and feel like will be the right vibe for the next few months. Let's get into the books. I'm missing 2 books. Right, sorry, I left 2 books in the other rooms, so there's actually 12 books I'm taking to uni with me this year. We'll start with the classics, because there's only 2 classics. I probably won't read them, and I'll probably buy them if I want them. You can get pretty cheap classics nowadays. So, I'm taking Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This is kind of the perfect autumn-winter read. You know, it's dark, it's eerie, everyone talks about it. I have really struggled to get through this before, especially in terms of I've always just said I need someone to draw me up a family tree. I get very confused by all the names. However, I think this is going to be the year that I get through it. It's the perfect time of year. I've really been in the mood for a classic recently, and this is a beautiful cover. So we're going to go for it, I'm going to bring it, and then hopefully I'll kind of be forced to read it because it's there. That's the plan anyway. And the next classic I'm going to take is on my most intimidating book list, if you saw that TBR pile, and that is Anna Karenina by Tolstoy. As I said before, I just want to be the kind of person that's read a Tolstoy, and from the movie I think I'd like Anna Karenina. Classics are the few instances where I will watch the movie before reading the book. I do apologise. So I think I'll like this. It's just scary. Look how small the words are. This book, I just find it really intimidating and I don't know how to get through a Tolstoy, and I think I've overthought it and now it just seems really scary. So just like Wuthering Heights, I'm going to bring it in the hope that I'm forced to read it, or I feel like showing off one day and read it just so I'm seen reading a Tolstoy. Because I think my ego might be the only way I get through this book. Right, let's move on to the fantasy and the YA, which is the biggest section of this video. So the first fantasy YA kind of book that I'm going to be bringing is The House of Salt and Sorrow. This is a 5-star read for me. I've spoken a lot about how much of a surprising 5-star read this is for me, and I've also spoken a lot about how I read this in July and I should have read it in October because it would be absolutely perfect in October and probably more like a 6-star read if I actually read it in an eerie month. So this is going to come with me just to see if I'm right and if it's just as good in October. Plus, I always end up going to Waterstones to find an October-ish book when it hits October because I get very festive. So maybe I'll spend less money if I already have one with me. But I also know that I'm going to be buying the whole Miss Peregrine series, so that's just not true. But we'll hope. The next 2 books are Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. These are just on my TBR. I haven't read them yet, and they'll look really pretty in a background if I have the space to be able to have books as my backing still for these videos. We'll figure it out when I move in. I need to get to these. They're very high up on my TBR, so I have plans to read these probably this month or next month. So I feel like I should have them with me. They're not going to do anyone any good sitting here at home looking this pretty. The next book is going to seem like a really weird choice, but when I explain it, you'll hopefully be down for this idea. So the next book is Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. Now the reason I want to bring this is because if I can get my hands on cheap copies of the other books I'm thinking for this video, I'm thinking of doing a reread of the really trashy books I read when I was like 12 and 13. And obviously Hush Hush has to be one. And I'm still low-key in love with Patch, so if you want me to just start slating the books, probably won't happen. I'll probably get all nostalgic and fall in love with all the characters all over again. So yeah, let me know if you'd want that video. I'm probably still going to do it even if you don't want it because that sounds really fun. So I'm bringing Hush Hush with me, so I only have to get my hands on like 2 or 3 other books rather than 4. The reason I need to repurchase the others is because I got rid of them, and this one made the cut for some reason, so I really want to do that video. I'm very excited about that one. The next book that I'm bringing with me to uni is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Now this is just the biggest comfort read, and it's set at university, and it's about fanfiction, and it always just inspires me to get creative. If I'm in a reading slump, a writing slump, a filming slump, I know I can pick up this book, fly through it in a day, and feel really motivated and cutesy and feel like my heart is being hugged in a sweater. Because that's how this book makes me feel. The next book is another one I've spoken about and have still not gone round to reading, and that is These Rebel Waves. All I know about this book is it's about pirates, and I went on a little rant in one of my videos. I will put it up in the iCards because I don't quite remember what video it was. I went on a little bit of a rant about how much I want to see pirates in more books. So I bought this as soon as I realised it was a pirate book. Don't know what it's about. I know it's told from 3 perspectives, I believe. It's green, which is a weird choice. But yeah, I'm very excited to get to this, and I've kept putting it off, and I don't know why. I just haven't got round to it, and I think I will this month, so gotta come with me. I feel like pirates and a kind of adventure tale would be perfect for autumn and October especially. A lot of these books were just chosen based on Halloween, I won't lie. This country doesn't even do Halloween that big, but I like to get festive. It makes me feel better about my life. Okay, and the last YA, fantasy, that kind of genre book that I'm going to be bringing to uni. It's one we're not surprised by at all, and that's Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. I'm actually thinking I might bring my entire Twilight collection. Don't know whether I want to bring the original books or I have the white covers too, so I'm probably going to bring the white covers if I do bring them. But I just kind of have to bring this. A, I haven't got around to reading it yet, so it's got to come with me because it's top of my TBR. B, I want to do a whole in-depth analytical video on Midnight Sun and the Twilight series, especially in terms of othering and ethnocentrism within the series. I feel like as an anthropology student I can weigh in on that debate, and I want to see more people talking about it rather than just the Bella has no autonomy. I think the othering and the Native American rep in this series is much worse, and from what I've heard about this book, it's not any better 12 years later. So yeah, I really want to do a whole video on that. So this kind of needs to come with me. I need to read it, really make notes on it, etc. And it's just gonna be fun. I hate to admit how much I'm probably going to enjoy reading this. So as embarrassing as it's going to be to have all the Twilight books displayed, I want them there. I also find myself rereading Twilight quite a bit. As I've said in previous videos, I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying a book as long as you've noticed what's wrong with it. If you just read the Twilight book and you think that's an accurate representation of life and love, then that's an issue. But if you can notice the problems, and I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying it, and I do enjoy rereading them. So they're coming with me. Okay, and on to the non-fiction section. I'm only bringing 3 non-fiction books with me because I know myself, and non-fiction is the genre that I buy most when I'm at uni. I guess just being in that environment makes me want to pretend I'm clever, so I'll buy more. I know I will. So the first non-fiction book that I'll be bringing with me is one that has been sitting on my shelf for about 3 years now, and that is Adventures in the Anthropocene by Gaia Vince. This is about Gaia Vince, who just travels around the world and kind of just delves into climate change and global warming and all the other things that are wrong with the world right now, and probably all the other amazing stories that are going on in the world. This book is kind of old now. It was published in 2014, so it's a little bit outdated, but it deals with atmosphere, oceans. It's probably more geographical than it is anthropological. I have studied the Anthropocene as part of one of my modules from an anthropological perspective, so I'd be interested in reading this now that I've studied it to see what I can gain from reading about it from a geographical perspective as well, and whether the two can come together. The next book I will be bringing to uni with me is one that you're not going to be surprised about at all, and that is Heroes by Stephen Fry. I go on and on about Mythos by Stephen Fry and how incredible that was, so I'm excited to read Heroes because I think my knowledge gap for Greek mythology is Heroes. I feel like I know quite a bit about gods and goddesses now, so Heroes will be interesting. I love Stephen Fry's writing. I love that he is so willing to just tell the stories rather than over-explain them or be analytical about them. His writing is almost a work of fiction, and I love reading it. So I'm very excited to bring this one with me. Again, it's one that I should have gotten to so much sooner. A, my reading has just been down lately, and B, I've just been picking up other books. It's been a very weird time for me, reading-wise. And the final book that I will be bringing to uni with me, I'm probably just bringing it because it looks pretty, and that is just one big old book of mythology. This has loads of different kinds of mythology in it, so I'll probably maybe read this towards the end of term, so if I particularly get into Norse mythology or something, I can come come back and pick up the Norse mythology books that I have at home because I won't be taking them with me. Yeah, I just feel like this will be a nice one to have if I'm in the mood for something a bit different. I just feel like it'll be nice to have for variety's sake. What if I'm just not in the mood for one of the other books, you know? Okay, and so those are all 12 books, maybe more if I take the whole Twilight series, that I'll be taking with me to uni. I hope this video was interesting, maybe even slightly helpful in some way. It's quite difficult when you live between two places, know which books you want to take with you. The amount of times I get tempted to repurchase books because I'm really in the mood for them and I don't have them with me. It's really quite difficult. I expect it's quite difficult doing it on BookTube because I'm not going to have my nice background anymore. I'm not going to have pretty books or books, my whole collection of books when I'm trying to think of like fun video challenges or something. At the end of the day, I will manage. It's one more year, it's fine. This might be subject to change. Also, I would say follow me on my Goodreads and my Instagram, which are always down in the description if you want more updates about what I'm reading and when and what's going on in my life. You know, just if you're interested. Do like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more. I post bookish content twice a week on Wednesdays and Fridays, and I have no intention of stopping doing that anytime soon. Do stick around if you want more. Also, like I said at the end of my last video, if you have any tips on how to manage being in like final year or a big academic year and managing creating content and uploading it and dealing with everything else, etc., let me know. I would be very interested to hearing your advice. But thank you for sticking around this long, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.